Estuary news tonight. Plans for a new retail development in Hull deferred, commemorating two prominent Hull figures in the English Civil War, and all aboard the old Town Loco in the City of Culture. And later in tonight's programme, John Wiles leaps into the studio to tell me about a show by the sea. Before that, Jason Ledden races onto the sofa talking about the Great Grimsby 10K. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Wednesday's programme with me, Luke Adams. Plans for a new retail park on Kingswood in Hull have been put on hold. The decision was made by Hull City Council today, despite nearby residents voting in favour of the proposed development. The project, costing around £32 million, would see a new range of shops and restaurants built alongside the new Next and create up to 250 jobs if given the go-ahead. The application has been deferred until a later date. The president of Lincolnshire Wildlife Trust has died at the age of 89. David Robinson died yesterday morning at Grimsby Hospital. He spent most of his life in Lincolnshire and was one of the county's greatest experts on natural history. In 1997, he was awarded an OBE for services to journalism and services to the people of Lincolnshire. Two new plaques have been unveiled commemorating two Hull brothers involved in the English Civil War. They've been unveiled to remember John and Matthew Alured. Dr. Rob Robinson of the University of Hull explains more about the figures.
Matthew Alured was a prominent defender of Parliament. He was not only an important parliamentary soldier, but he went on to defend Parliament against Cromwell, really. He stood up against Cromwell. He was imprisoned for his beliefs in Parliament, but later he returned. He remained in the political wilderness under the Restoration years, under the monarchy for a long period of time, but played a significant, if back, role as an old man in what we call the Glorious Revolution, when William and Mary assumed the throne and we got the establishment of the constitutional monarchy, Parliament governing in tandem with the monarch that we have today. So he was a very prominent figure. His brother, also a very important Civil War soldier. He was a regicide, and a regicide is a king killer. He was one of that group of people who signed the death warrant of Charles I. And it's quite remarkable, really, that something like half a dozen of them were from Yorkshire, more than from anywhere else in the country, and more from East Yorkshire. There were three from East Yorkshire who were involved in that, and one of them was Matthew Alured. A really controversial role in every sense of the word, but an important figure in terms of our history.
A new exhibition on Hull's Humber Street has been opened to commemorate 50 years since homosexuality was partially decriminalised in the UK. House of Kings and Queens portrays life for homosexuals in Freetown, Sierra Leone, where homosexuality remains illegal. Artist and photographer Lee Price hopes the exhibition will inspire debate and remind viewers that work still needs to be done in challenging decriminalisation of homosexuality in other countries.
The project basically looks at what life is like for LGBT people in places like Freetown. It kind of focuses on a young transgendered woman who has taken people in from the LGBT community into a home, and this place kind of acts as a sort of safe house to these people. These people, they've got quite a hard time in Freetown. And this place acts as a sort of sanctuary, if you like. They can be who they are. They can act how they want to, without fear of kind of persecution. And this place, it's important to them. With the 50-year anniversary of the legalisation of homosexuality within the UK. I think it's quite important now to both celebrate how far we've come in the last 50 years, but also to look further afield and to recognise that there is still much more work to be done in lots of parts of the world. I hope it inspires people to be a bit more tolerant of one another, and I would hope that it kind of inspires conversation as well. It inspires debate and prompts change with regards to how gay people and transgender people are treated throughout the world. There's an awful lot of work to be done, and only when conversation happens can that start to progress.
And the exhibition is now open, running until the 24th of September. Police are appealing for information to identify offenders who broke into a business in Beverley. The Enterprise Park on Beckview Road was broken into for the second time in a month in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Intruders entered the premises attempting to steal the company's safe. Damage was caused to windows and doors. Police attended and gave chase to the offenders who escaped from the scene. The pursuit continued through to Hull, but the offenders were not caught. Now, the old Town Loco chewed its way into action in Hull today. It's the second train to be launched by Mally Welburn and was blessed by the Reverend Canon Neil Barnes of Hull Minster. It then set off on its first journey through the city centre from Paragon Square, stopping at Queen Victoria Square, Trinity Square and the Museum's Gardens. The project has been made possible through a £27,000 grant via the Old Town Grant Scheme. It aims to match fund new business in the Old Town. Mally says the project will provide a jobs boost.
It employs four people full-time on both trains and 4 people part-time, so through the school holidays, so there'll be 8 people, 9 including myself. That's all getting the bread dipped in the gravy, so to speak, and taking some table money home. Are you with me? And then after the school holidays, before full-time jobs employed.
Mally and I got together and said, wouldn't it be nice to be able to bring people from the new town, from the cenotaph, right to the heart of the old town. So right in front of the Minster, the market hall here, people can drop off, people can be picked up and taken back to the bus station. So the cenotaph there, it's a lovely little route, a part of our history. We're rich in history, as you know, and isn't it nice to be able to drop off and hop on and get pieces of that history and shop in between time.
The whole idea is to get Doris, Doreen and Mabel from the middle of the town to come shopping into the indoor market, go visit the church, go visit all the other little businesses and support all the businesses around here. Most probably have some fish and chips at Bob Carver's as well. And then they can go spend some time and some money in the old market, and then they can get back on and off again. Do you know what I mean? That's the whole idea of it.
The Great Grimsby 10K is set to take place this weekend. 3,000 people are expected to take part. I'm delighted to welcome my first guest tonight, Jason Ledden from Don Energy, to tell me more. Good evening, Jason. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. The event will be taking place on Sunday, the second event.
That's right, yeah. This is the second year. Yeah. Obviously, yes, last year being the first year, this is the second year coming up now this weekend.
Okay. Are you taking part yourself?
I am, yes. I run in the first event. This year, I'm aiming to hopefully shave a little bit off my time again and run again. So yeah, I'll be there with my trainers on. How well did you do last year? I came in about 50 minutes last year. Okay. So aiming to be there or thereabouts, maybe a little bit off that, hopefully. Okay, are you quite a competitive person yourself? I think if anybody that knows me would say yes straight away to that, yeah. Okay. Now, the first person last year, Jason, I did some notes here earlier, was a gentleman by the name of Aaron Scott. Yeah. And he completed the time in just under an hour. 30 minutes and 53 seconds, apparently. Yeah, that's a really good time. Is that quite a tough act to follow? Yeah, I mean, and actually this year I think it'll probably be beat because the runners have gone from 1,200 last year to 3,000 this year. I think the popularity has sort of grown in the local area, but then also in sort of the wider region. So you're going to get some more competitive runners coming into the area trying to beat that time, and I think it probably will happen. Because as you know, it was a phenomenally successful event last year. There was about 1,200 racers who took part, and obviously this year it's almost doubled in numbers. Why do you think that is? Why do you think more people are wanting to do it this year? I think last year originally I think it was going to be 1,000 people. Then they upped it slightly at the end to 1,200 because it got very popular. People were trying to get in, and it was all the entries were already closed. And I think because of how quickly it filled up last year and the popularity of it very quickly, they decided to do it on a bigger scale this year. And even that, I mean, it surpassed that again. I mean, it's been full for a long, long time. There's people still trying to get an entry now to the race. We must stress that it's now sold out, isn't it? It's completely full. It has been for a couple of months now. Yeah. So people need to just watch this space, and then when it's on next year, get their trainers out, get out there running. So get ahead of the game. Yeah. People can obviously come along and spectate and cheer people on who are taking part in the race. Importantly, where do they need to be and what time is the event starting? Well, the event starts outside the town hall, 10 o'clock. A lot of people will probably be gathering from around about 9 o'clock. Okay. There's going to be people there sort of getting the crowd ready, warm-ups going on, people getting in their places. There's lots of teams running. So then they'll run from there. It's finishing at People's Park, the same place as last year. But again, the people will be lining the route. I mean, it run past just on the Nuns Corner here, up through Scather and that sort of area along Peaks Parkway.
Okay.
So, and you're right to mention another important part of the race is the spectators.
Yes.
They cheer everybody on.
Absolutely.
And then the people that volunteer as well, marshalling the course, again, really important to the race.
A great community event, would you say? You know, this is a way of bringing the local community together for something fun to enjoy and be part of.
Oh yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's something that the local area can be really proud of. I mean, people, as I say, there's not just the runners, there's the people, it's the family sort of event, it's that family feeling it gives to the area, giving people that ability as well, who, if they don't want to run, they can partake and become a marshal and so on. So it's that real community spirit that you get that's given there. Yeah. And it gives the Grimsby area something to be really proud about.
Absolutely. And very importantly, Jason, all the money raised through the event will go to the Health Tree Foundation, which is the official charity of the Scunthorpe and Grimsby hospitals, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, just by paying your entry fee, automatically you give some of that money goes to the charity. Fantastic. Which is a really important charity. Worthy cause. Jason, good luck for Sunday. Thank you very much for coming in this Wednesday evening. Thanks for inviting me. You're welcome. Time for a break now. Still to come in part 2 tonight, some big questions from little people and all the latest news from the sporting world. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, some big questions from little people and a roundup of the latest sports news. And it is now time for some big questions from little people. The pupils of Waltham Leys Primary Academy in Grimsby, on which musical character they'd most like to play.
I would probably play Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Good answer. Why him?
It's quite adventurous a role, but it seems quite fun to play as.
I think The Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz, because I played it in a nursery play when I was little and it was really fun.
I would play Annie because she's such a happy character.
Probably Willy Wonka from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because his part is a main part and I like speaking, so I think it'll be the right job for me.
I would play Matilda because she's my personality again.
Probably The Wicked Witch of the West, because I'm like sometimes a bit unpredictable of what I'm going to do and like what's coming next.
More music now, as this year's Leaps Spectacular is set to entertain Bridlington. I'm delighted to welcome my second guest this evening, John Wiles, to tell me what's in store. Good evening, John. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. First of all, what is Leaps? What does it stand for?
Well, Leaps stands for Local Entertainers and Performance Society. Hull and East Riding, a great guy called Matty King organised the event to start with. I've been running for 10 years now. He's got a guy called Terry Cavender as a secretary. Matty's well known on the club circuit. He used to work for BP and he used to run the social club, whatever. Right. So he really knows how to put a show together. And passionate about, local talent in the Hull and East Riding area. Yeah, passionate about people getting into entertainment and starting off with as a youngster and working all the way through. We've got some great success stories. Absolutely. Well, this will be the 10th event on Monday. Mm-hmm. Why has it become so popular, do you think? It's become popular because it's always a good show. It's on just as school have broken up. It's on the 31st, which is January. So July? Goodness me. Stepping back in time. It's just my age. July 31st. And it's the day before Yorkshire Day. And all the kiddywinks have broken up from school. So it starts at 7, runs all the way through till 10:30, so they can stay and watch it. And we get people come back year after year after year. So it's a very sought after event in the local entertainment calendar. John, just give me a rundown of some of the acts who will be performing on Monday nights. Okay, well there's a whole gamut of stuff. That's a good word, isn't it, gamut? We got dancers, we've got singers, we've got tribute acts, a bit of comedy, whatever. And what we tend to do is use local artists. So in Bridlington, we've got Emmy Beckett. She's currently working with a really big name, doing some songs, whatever. We've got the Ruby Reds. They were performing this weekend, actually.
Yes,
on stage at the
was it
the Gay Pride?
Yes, the Hull Pride event.
Thing, the Hull Pride event, which was absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic. There is a lot of local talent on our doorstep, isn't there?
Oh, it's amazing, and it's amazing what's in Hull. I mean, Rick Wakeman is writing songs for Emmy Beckett, or whatever. There's a local dance troupe coming from Bridlington, and we've got Edwina Hayes.
Okay. Because she has been involved with the Leaps from
the beginning. She started with us. She was just a little girl with a guitar, and she's grown up with us to being sort of like an international superstar. In fact, she sang the theme song for a Hollywood film recently.
Fantastic. So this gives people with that real raw talent a platform to go further beyond.
Yeah, to move forward and whatever. A lot of them have been in the talent shows that's on the TV, whatever, and a lot of them are club circuit people, and a lot of them have done things like, cruise ships.
Okay, fantastic. So, John, Monday, at Bridlington Spa,
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock in the evening. Are tickets still available for the events?
Yes, tickets are there. I went to check last Saturday to see how they were doing, because we were raising the money for the RNLI, as you know.
Yes, that's a charity,
and we always try and raise money for local charities rather than giving to big national charities. Okay. And so far, in the 10 years, we've raised 9,700. I'm going to get shot if I've got that wrong.
Fantastic achievement.
Fantastic. For the RNLI, and it's brilliant.
Remember, for the box office, if people want tickets, John, 01262 678 258. John, all the best for Monday. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
And thank you for wearing a seaside jacket.
Yes,
I think that
very
is brilliant.
Appropriate.
Lovely.
In Bridlington. Thank you, John, for the compliment. Now here's Jack with all the sport.
We start with rugby news, and Hull FC have announced that in partnership with Wigan Warriors and Super League Europe, FC and Wigan will face off in the first ever Super League game taking place outside of Europe. The match is going to happen on Saturday the 10th of February 2018 at the Wind Stadium in Sydney. Hull FC chairman Adam Pearson says it is a landmark occasion for the sport of rugby league and an opportunity for Hull FC to play their part in making Super League history. Hull FC and Hull KR have learnt their fates today for the Super 8s. Both sides will play 8 matches between August and September, which will decide how they finish their season. Hull FC begin at home to Salford on the 4th of August and finish off away to Castleford on the 22nd of September. Meanwhile, Hull KR start at home to Halifax on the 6th of August and complete their campaign away to Warrington on the 23rd of September. Football now, and Hull FC have confirmed the signing of Czech international defender Ondrej Mazuk for an undisclosed fee from Sparta Prague. Mazuk has joined the Tigers on a 2-year deal after spending time at the club on trial while on the pre-season training campaign of Portugal. On the field, City played their penultimate pre-season friendly of the campaign last night. The game was played at Hull KR's Craven Park due to ongoing work at the KCOM Stadium. They played out a goalless draw with league earned side FC Nantes. Abel Hernandez came closest to scoring for Leonard Slutsky's men, however were held to a stalemate by Claudio Ranieri's side. The Tigers round off their pre-season schedule on Friday when they head to Amsterdam to face Ajax in a behind closed doors game. Our local EFL clubs Scunthorpe and Grimsby Town have released dates of their Trick or Treat trophy games for the season. The two sides have been pitted alongside each other in Group H of the Northern section. They are joined by Doncaster Rovers and Sunderland Under-21s. The two clubs face one another at Glanford Park on 3rd of October. On Tuesday the 29th of August, Scunthorpe are at home to Sunderland Under-21s, while the Mariners are also at home to Doncaster on this date. The Iron finish their group on the 31st of October away to Doncaster, while Russell Slade's side finish up at home to Sunderland on the 8th of November. All these matches are scheduled for 7:45 kick-offs. Grimsby Town lost 1-0 last night to League One Blackburn Rovers at Blundell Park. A Danny Graham goal in the second half separated the two sides. Russell Slade handed 3 appearances to three new faces in the form of Carly Osborne, Jamil Roberts and Jordan Musto, who have been on trial with the club. It was later confirmed by Russell Slade that Osborne had been signed on a free transfer and hopes he will be a suitable replacement for Andrew Boyce.
Well, still a little bit more business. I'm delighted that we got Carly in the business, in the building, did that little bit of business, so pleased with that, but obviously still need a little bit more work.
What does Carly bring to you?
Well, he's played at a higher level, and he's strong. He's got a little bit of pace about him for a centre back, and obviously losing Boise, we needed a replacement, and I think he'll be the ideal man.
The club have announced that they will travel to Winterton Rangers on Thursday evening. Assistant manager Paul Wilkinson will take a select Mariners 11 to Northern Lincolnshire for Town's final away pre-season game in preparation for the season opener at Chesterfield on August the 5th. As aforementioned, the Mariners begin their campaign at Chesterfield on August the 5th. The club have announced that they will receive a further 760 tickets for the game at the Proact Stadium. Scunthorpe United host Sunderland at Glanford Park this evening. Boss Graham Alexander says he expects some members of the squad to complete the full 90 minutes tonight ahead of the season start. Fans will be able to take a look at recently signed Fonso Ojo for the first time on home soil. However, Luke Williams, Lewis Bootroyd and Sam Manson won't be available for tonight due to injury. That game kicks off at 7:30. We will provide details of that game in tomorrow's bulletin, and that's all for the sport.
Thanks very much, Jack. That's it for tonight, I'm afraid. Starting from next Wednesday, Estuary TV will be part of this year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival as we bring you live coverage from the event, 5 o'clock till 6 p.m. We will still be bringing you all the latest news from across the region with a condensed programme live at 4:45 ahead of our exclusive coverage of the Fringe. It sounds like it's going to be great fun. As always, if you have a news story, please get in touch with us in the usual ways. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow when I'll be joined on the sofa by Guy Moxon talking about this year's With Fest, and our very own Michelle Lawler with all the latest news from Hull 2017. Have a great Wednesday evening from all of us here. Good night.